Dozens of newly released images and videos from Jeffrey Epstein's private island, Little St. James, have reignited one of the most controversial criminal sagas in modern American history. The files obtained and published by Democratic members of the House Oversight Committee include more than 150 previously unseen photos and video clips. They offer the most detailed look yet at Epstein's world after his death and raise new questions about what really happened inside the infamous compound. These images, shared through a public Dropbox link on X, show the inside of Epstein's former residence: kitchens, bedrooms, courtyards, and a number of disturbing objects left behind. Among them, strange wall masks, a dentist's chair, and blackboards filled with cryptic words like truth, deception, and power. According to lawmakers, these visuals were taken in 2020, long after Epstein died in his Manhattan jail cell in 2019. The rooms appear abandoned and frozen in time, creating an eerie contrast between luxury and decay.
President, why wait for Congress to release the Epstein files? Why not just do it now?
You know, it's not the question that I mind, it's your attitude. I think you are a terrible reporter. It's the way you ask these questions. You start off with a man who's highly respected, asking him a horrible, insubordinate, and just a terrible question. And you could even ask that same exact question nicely. You're all psyched up. Somebody psychs you over at ABC. They're going to psych it. You're a terrible person and a terrible reporter. As far as the Epstein files is, I have nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. I threw him out of my club many years ago because I thought he was a sick pervert. And I guess I turned out to be right. But you know who does have? Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, who ran Harvard, was with him every single night, every single weekend. They lived together. They went to his island many times. I never did. Andrew Weissman, I hear. All these guys were friends of his. You don't even talk about those people. You just keep going on the Epstein files. And what the Epstein is a Democrat hoax to try and get me not to be able to talk about the $21 trillion that I talked about today. It's a hoax. Now, I just got a little report, and I put it in my pocket, of all the money that he's given to Democrats. He gave me none, zero, no money to me. But he gave money to Democrats. And people are wise to your hoax, and ABC's your company, your crappy company, is one of the perpetrators. And I'll tell you something.
So why not just sign it now?
I think the license should be taken away from ABC because your news is so fake and it's so wrong. And we have a great commissioner, the chairman, who should look at that, because I think when you come in and when you're 97% negative to Trump, and then Trump wins the election in a landslide, that means obviously your news is not credible, and you're not credible as a reporter. So I've answered your question. You should go and look at the Democrats who received money from Epstein, who spent their time. Larry Summers was with him all the time. That creep, the fund guy, was with him all the time. What's his name? Who? Reid Hoffman. I don't know Reid Hoffman, but I know he spends a lot of money on the radical left. Reid Hoffman, in my opinion, should be under investigation. He's a sleazebag. And those are the people, but they don't get any press, they don't get any news, and you're not after the radical left because you're a radical left network. But I think the way you ask a question with the anger and the meanness is terrible. You ought to go back and learn how to be a reporter. No more questions.
This release is only the latest development in an accelerating push for transparency. In recent weeks, House Democrats published over 20,000 documents, including Epstein's entire email inbox. A searchable website known as J-Mail now lets the public sift through his communications, revealing a long list of well-known names and contacts. Committee Chair Robert Garcia says the release is part of a larger effort to obtain full transparency from federal agencies.
And right now, since we're talking about crime and corruption in D.C., as we speak, Trump is leading a White House cover-up of the Epstein files. Now, just yesterday, Trump's FBI director falsely claimed that he could not release the files, which we know is false. And let's review the facts. Epstein told the reporter that Trump was his closest friend for 10 years. One survivor also said that Epstein's biggest brag was he was very good friends with Donald Trump. In fact, there was an 8x10 picture framed of Trump on his desk. We know the two are very close. Just last week, our committee released the birthday note that Trump personally wrote to Epstein. It's right here. The note said, by the way, and I'll read it, "May every day be another wonderful secret." That's a disgusting message to send to a sex trafficker. Now, the cover-up of this note might be just as bad as the crime, since we're talking about crime in Washington, D.C. today. Trump filed a $10 billion lawsuit to punish the Wall Street Journal for reporting on the birthday book, which he claimed didn't exist. Now, of course, we've verified that to the world. Now, experts have looked at this. Of course, this is Donald Trump's signature. It certainly looks like the signature to me. At the same time, his administration is cutting deals with a criminal, Ghislaine Maxwell. We know who she is exactly. She's a monster who participated in crimes against up to over possibly 1,000 women. Now, Trump and our Attorney General have not turned over the full Epstein files to our committee, despite a bipartisan subpoena signed by our chairman and this committee. If we want to get tough on crime, if we want to talk about crime in D.C., we need to stand up to where the crime and corruption is happening, and that is at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and hold Donald Trump accountable for his record and his actions. It's time for the House majority and Republicans to stand up for the Constitution and take on the biggest crime happening in this country. It's time to release the Epstein files.
At the same time, the Trump administration faces pressure to cooperate. President Donald Trump signed legislation ordering the Department of Justice to release its Epstein files in searchable form by mid-December. But there may be redactions to protect ongoing investigations in personal privacy.
Off topic.
On the Epstein files, does the new investigation by the Southern District of New York U.S. Attorney prevent the department from releasing all of the remaining files?
So we have released over 33,000 Epstein documents to the Hill, and we'll continue to follow the law and to have maximum transparency. Also, we will always encourage all victims to come forward.
As more records come out from Deutsche Bank, J.P. Morgan, and other institutions, lawmakers say the public could be closer than ever to uncovering the truth behind one of the darkest chapters in American elite society.